Hello, my name is Steve Balsamo and I'm a singer and a songwriter, and we are in Sonic One Studios in Llangennech near Llanelli. I can almost say it. And
I'm not going to try.
In South Wales, and we're at our friend Tim Hamill's recording studio. And today I'm going to be interviewing Nia, who has interviewed me a few times, so the tables are reversed. So, hello Nia.
Hi Steve.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on your
on your show. Well, we met about 15 years ago, maybe longer now.
It's not even that long. I think it's about 12 years. It feels like longer. In a good way. In a good way.
So we met to a friend and to do some songwriting, because I've been songwriting for many years.
Yeah, 30 something years, or
at least 30 years now. But you've been writing for many years yourself.
That's true. Just not professionally.
But what is, that's a conversation we can get into a bit later. But,
okay.
So we met and we wrote some songs with our friend Emma Jane Tommen in her flat in Notting Hill. And we wrote a lovely song. So fast forward 12 years later, why has it taken so long for you to be here recording songs with Tim?
That's a good question.
It's a big question.
It is a big question. I've written songs on and off all my life, but my career took me down the path of musical theatre. I was very focused on that. I loved writing poetry, loved writing lyrics, would write songs occasionally, but it all becomes about work and career, and I never thought that it was something that I could pursue. And then 2020 happened, which was, I think, a very hard year but creative year for lots of creative minds, because they had the time and they had the space. And you started sending me what Steve calls noodles, which are little snippets of ideas of melody or chords. And I took one of them and I completed a song and sent it back to you. And then, I don't know, unleashed the creative, force inside me, and just something changed in 2020.
What do you think that was?
Changed. I think stepping outside of my own head and collaborating with you opened up a different way of either structuring a song or approaching a song, because I had so much time, even though I was still working, but I started looking at the world differently. I would see things or read things and think, oh my gosh, that would be a good lyric. Everything started to become a song to me. And so I think as I exercise that part of my brain, I think I wrote 30 songs in a year, which isn't a lot for some people, but before then it was maybe one a year. So, yeah.
Well, that's good, because I've heard the EP that you finished and it sounds gorgeous. So just going back then, so we had some time during the lockdown.
Yeah.
So you could focus on finishing things. I think as a songwriter, it's always good to finish something, even if it doesn't make it, because some things don't, and some songs become like gateways to other songs and other collaborations and so on. So I think, given the time and I think everybody needs a little bit of encouragement to say, hey, this sounds really good. And I think some of the songs you were sending through sounded great and really interesting chordally and melodically. So where did the inspiration come from for some of these songs? How did you said you were just getting lyrics from everywhere?
All over the place. My writing also changed because I started using GarageBand and exploring that a little bit more. So, because I'm self-taught on the piano, I learnt the piano when I was younger by watching my brother play, and I would just memorise where he would put his fingers. So I never had any lessons, so I kind of felt a little bit inhibited. But then when I started using other recording methods, it meant that I didn't have to necessarily be able to play a piece the whole way through straight away. I would improvise some songs and just improvise the piano and then listen to it and see how it made me feel, and that would influence the lyrics or the melody. I remember writing a song called Sanctuary, which was based on a line from one of Richard Raw's books.
Who's Richard Raw?
Richard Raw is a Franciscan priest, Father Richard Raw, who's very writes a lot of very kind of inspirational, spiritual books, but is also he's a realist and a truth teller. And I remember he said in one of his books that I'm going to try not to paraphrase. Religion is the easiest way to hide from God, which I thought was incredibly profound. And so I took that, and that inspired a song. So everything was inspiring songs.
So are you religious yourself? Have you got a spiritual?
I'm spiritual.
Okay.
I was raised religious, but I wouldn't call myself religious now. But I'm definitely spiritual, and I take a lot of inspiration and healing spiritually from nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that works its way into my music as well, I think. Metaphor and the symbolism of the natural world around us.
And we were talking a bit before coming on camera about the journey to the studio here.
Mm.
Now, I've recorded with Tim for 30 years since I started making music.
Yeah.
He's a great collaborator and a great musician in his own right and a fabulous producer. But
A great human being.
Yeah, he's a gorgeous human being.
Yeah.
But would you say then that actually coming from where you live in England down to Wales, do you think that was part of the songwriting journey as well?
Yes. I mean, it's interesting because by the time I was crossing the Prince of Wales Bridge for the first time to come to this studio, bearing in mind I'm now in the middle of recording my second EP. First EP hasn't been released as of this moment yet, but so I just keep saving my money and I just keep coming back. But the first time I crossed that bridge, I already had the songs that I was going to record, and yet the songwriting journey was very much still happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it is still happening. It's not just about the writing of the songs themselves. It's everything that it symbolises, moving from A to B, moving from a life that, you know, you're blessed with, but moving towards a life that you want to manifest for yourself and something that you want to be part of, you know, your reality, which for me is music and songwriting.
And how important is songwriting to you right now? I know that's a loaded question.
I don't even think important really sums it up. It feels necessary to me, and it feels vital, and because it feels authentic, and it feels like I'm not 21 anymore, but it feels like I'm finally stepping into finally stepping into my authenticity and my light, you know. I wouldn't change a thing about what I've done for a living, and there are plenty of people that are so good at it, but musical theatre is about fitting into somebody else's idea of what they want you to be, or fitting into a character, or fitting... My voice doesn't really fit the musical theatre mould. I worked in the business for 20 years, so I must have been doing something right. But things happened in my life, and I was craving just to be myself and to be able to be myself and sing how I want to sing. And that's what this is all about for me. Mm-hmm. Just authenticity, that's what it's about. That's important to me.
So the emotion that just came up.
Mm-hmm.
So where is that? You know, as a feeling, is it about telling your stories? Is it about finally making the music you want to make? Or, I mean, where does that live, all that emotion?
It's a good emotion. It manifests in tears sometimes, but it's a good feeling because it just feels right and it feels real, you know? Mm. And that's important to me.
Mm-hmm. And so the first EP,
yeah.
How many songs are on the first EP?
6 songs. It's called Glorious Life.
And the journey with the songs to get here, to record them, to finally put it out. That's a big thing, you know, as a songwriter of a long time now.
But I don't think, sorry to interrupt you, I don't think I would have imagined that for myself had you not said to me, which is going back to something you said earlier, you've got an EP or an album here and I'm going to help you make it, whether you like it or not, you said.
That's nice.
And that's all it takes, like you say, for someone to give you that encouragement and to say you can do this, because you know you can and you feel you can, but you don't know how realistic or possible it is. And for someone who's been in the business a long time to say this is good stuff, you know.
It is good stuff.
Otherwise I don't know whether I would have imagined this for myself had you not kind of given me permission to imagine it.
That's nice.
You know?
That's really nice. So going to the songs on the EP, what's the subject matter? What are we looking at here?
I'd say the common theme between all the songs, which I didn't realise at the time when A, I wrote them, or B, I put them all together, and it only occurred to me a little while ago, is that every single track is about a type of love. You've got the kind of deep physical love that unlocks yourself and sets you free. You've got a love that turned out to be a lie. You've got a forbidden love that kind of isn't allowed, but two people are pulled together. You've got a love of the beautiful life you're blessed with all its hardships and pitfalls. You've got a love of two souls on a completely other plane, and you've got a love of the source and energy that moves us through this world, whatever you want to call that. So yeah, they're all about love, but not in a schmaltzy kind of romantic way. But yeah,
there's nothing wrong with those songs, for you know.
No, I'm a sucker for them, but
me too.
But I didn't realise that that's what I'd done.
Maybe all songs are love songs.
Maybe they say everything boils down to either love or fear.
I've written that song, actually. So if you, and this is a horrible question, I understand. Okay. If you were to say, because people like to box things in, how would you describe your music? Or if somebody said, oh, it's a little bit like this or a little bit like that, is there anybody you can, who are your influences then, for example?
Okay. My music is emotional and muscular and cinematic in places. Thanks a lot to Tim, who kind of, I paint, well, I'm not very good at drawing. I draw a stick man and then I give it to Tim and then he creates a Lowry out of it, or, you know.
Yeah.
So cinematic in places. It's, like I said, I play the piano. It's Annie Lennox, Sarah McLachlan, maybe. Those are people that I, you know, have loved listening to. I'm heavily influenced by Sting. Lyrics are important to me, words are important to me. So I don't ever sing anything for the sake of it or because it sounds good. I sing it because I mean it and I want to say something. Whatever other people feel from that point, that's up to them. But I've got to mean it, you know. That's
interesting. So do you think you're making this EP for yourself?
Yeah. Definitely.
And if other people like it, then that's a...
Definitely.
That's a
because when I started writing these songs, I didn't ever imagine that it was going to reach anybody else's ears other than yourself and two of my best friends. Those are the only people I sent it to.
And have you sent them the songs now, right? The EP that's being made to your friends?
Yes.
What was their reaction? Good?
It was... Yes, with all due respect, most of them said I wasn't expecting that and were pretty blown away, because it's not, my writing has evolved over the last couple of years and I don't know why, but I love it and I can feel it, and it's not what it used to be. It's bigger and wider and more than it used to be.
That's amazing. So plans for the future, you said you're working on the second EP now.
Yeah.
What about live shows? Are you going to play these songs live, do you think?
I hope so. Yeah, I don't know exactly how that would work yet, because the songs and the tracks are quite, I don't know.
Big?
They are quite big. That's not to say you couldn't just do them with a piano and a voice.
That's
of
right.
course you could. But I love what they've become, so I would want them, some of them, to stay big.
Yeah.
But hopefully one day, yeah.
That's great. So, when is this going to be released? What's the plan?
I don't know what the plan is, other than I'm going to release one song first, Lost
Great.
in You, and I'm filming a video for that in a couple of days' time.
Great stuff.
So, just to try and capture people's attention, because I think people are very visually led these days.
Mm-hmm. But I think making it for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
I think personally that's a really important thing, and
Mhm.
also really loving what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, we talked with Tim in the studio here about really loving how you sound and how the track is sounding,
Mm.
so you would kind of imbue the track with that love
Mm.
from day one. It's a powerful thing.
I love it here.
It's
love it
amazing.
here.
It's amazing. It's like a sanctuary. That's what I
Mm.
call it. So you're back on EP2
Yes.
before EP1 is out.
Yes.
That's good. So there's no. So you think this one is gonna come out, do what it does, get a bit of attention, then straight into
Yeah.
the second one.
Yeah, it'd be nice not to have to keep people waiting too long, or yeah, I just want to keep the momentum going.
And anybody else watching this with ideas to write songs, have you got any advice, any thoughts to them?
I don't know whether I'm the person for giving advice yet at this point, but if I did give some, I would say to as a songwriter, to keep your channel open. So
Be ready.
Look around you.
Mhm.
Keep open, because you don't know where the next song is going to come from. I feel like most of my songs so far have happened to me. I don't feel like I've written them. And I don't know, I listened to the first EP that Tim put on the CD for me back in January in the car, and thought, I don't know how I wrote those songs, and I don't know how they came to me, but they did. So, yeah. There's nothing you can't take inspiration from.
Mhm.
But I was never open before. And then as soon as I open my eyes, like I say, everything is a song waiting to happen.
And do you think that's confidence? Do you think that's having the permission to call yourself a songwriter, or to say this is what I do? Because you've been a songwriter since 12 years ago, whenever we met in Emma Jane's house. There must have been a switch when you went, yeah, no, this is good.
I just couldn't stop writing. And yet
And you haven't
before
stopped?
it was a bit like getting blood out of a stone before, even though I loved it, but it didn't necessarily come easily to me.
Mm.
It's I don't know what happened, other than I became more open.
Mm. That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know whether that's time, I don't know whether that's circumstance. No idea.
Well, I haven't heard it myself. I can vouch for how great it is, and the sound is great. You sound great, you sing great.
Thank you.
And can't wait for everyone else to hear it. So, yeah, good luck, Nia,
Thank you.
on your
Thanks,
fishing
Steve.
for the truth that is my fishing for the truth.
Yeah. Good job. Well done.
Well, it was much harder than I thought.
You're
Asking
kidding.
questions. No, because you have to kind of think ahead, listen to what you're saying and think and go. And none of it was kind of written down. I thought, let's just...
It's just a conversation.
It's hard, yeah. But sometimes we hold things back, don't we? And we don't kind of give too much away.
Makes you realise how good the people are who do it well.
Exactly.
You did good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you very soon.